After watching this YouTube video, you will know all the basics in order to grow a YouTube channel. Hey guys, GuyLevel here, and today we're going to be talking about a bunch of tips for new YouTubers. Now I know that my audience are mostly live streamers, and in the beginning of the year, I asked a question on Twitter. I was like, hey, what are your New Year's resolution? And a lot of you responded, hey, I want to put more content on YouTube. I want to take YouTube seriously and all that. So here's a follow-up video. I'm gonna give you the tips in order to put you on the right track. Now, if you're not a live streamer, don't worry. The tips will apply to every type of YouTuber ever. Something that I'm gonna try to do is give you a perspective on the reality of how to grow naturally, of how you would go about it if you had no tips at all. Basically what I had to learn the hard way, and then give you the tips that will hopefully save you some time so you can skip steps so you don't have to learn anything the hard way because you know them as, well, not necessarily as a fact, but some guy on YouTube with an afro told you so. I'm gonna try, but as usual, my videos are not scripted, so you never know where I can go. Okay, normal disclaimer, every tip is good, not every tip is for you. You take the tips and you apply them to your own situation if it matches, if it fits. I don't know you, I don't know what type of content you're gonna do, so you ultimately decide what tip actually fits your specific situation. Anyways, right before we start, a message from our sponsor. This portion of the video is sponsored by Owned. Owned is your one-stop shop for everything customizable for live streamers and content creators. They have everything that you can possibly think of customizing, from your profile picture, your banner, offline image, your overlays, your alerts, your emotes, your subscriber badges, and everything else. Okay, let's say you're trying to make sub badges. You can either check out the pre-made ones, and there's a lot of them, or create your own using their badge maker. Just pick a style you like. Let's go with that first one. You can add icons, numbers, characters, whatever you prefer. Let's add a smiley, for example. Boom, let's select the color. Let's go with yellow. It's like the second one. Add a hat. And do the same thing until you have all the badges you desire. Look at all the icons available. You have the characters and all the numbers. They also have a channel trailer maker, but I'll let you guys figure that out. All you have to do is go to own.gg/GuyLevel. That's own3d.gg/GuyLevel. All right, what if I started with the bonus tip? Okay, the bonus tip is start now. Stop thinking about it, and it's time to act, okay? If you really want to start, you will start now. If you haven't started yet, start now. There's no, I'm thinking of picking up photography, and then you have a phone that has a camera and you don't take pictures. What are you doing? Start. There's nothing, there's all the research in the world will not help you understand the experience that you're gonna get once you actually started. There's a lot of things that you need to pick up on the spot, and you would have known all those things if you started a year ago. So now is the next best time to start. I wish I didn't mess that up. Bex. Anyways, tip number one is going to be the mindset. Understand, what is YouTube? What is this new hobby that you're getting into, or what is this new thing that you're trying to do maybe in order to be successful at and make money, or maybe make a living off? Slow your horses, okay? I need you to understand the time frame, all the time and effort it's gonna take before you start seeing progress, as like a strategy, not taking into account luck, because luck is the worst strategy you can possibly have, right? Understand that it's gonna take you probably hundreds of videos before you even start making anything even close to decent money on this platform. And even if sometimes YouTube, just straight up refuses channels to be part of the partner program, even after they reached all the requirements. So absolutely understand that you are in the most unpredictable activity, hobby, or profession ever. Now, this might seem discouraging, but having this mindset will actually help you in the long run. It's actually going to help you strategize the way that you make videos, and you're going to see that all the tips are pretty much related to that. For example, tip number 2 is going to be start small. If you understand that it's on the long term and you're gonna have to put out a lot of videos, you need to not overwhelm yourself from the get-go. And this is something that happened to me. This is something that happens to some of my best friends. They want to start YouTube, but they want to start right. They want to put out great, amazing content. So they want their videos to have crazy cool shots, to have B-roll, to have sound effects, to have, subtitles, and have like special effects, to have motion tracking, to have, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Start with what you can do today. Start with a video that you can start and finish today. That is the best way to start. It's just like working out. If you've never worked out and you're like, you know what, this year I'm gonna make a change, and then the first thing you do is try to run a marathon, first of all, you're probably gonna die, but you're gonna overwhelm yourself. And every time you need to start over again, you're gonna think, your brain is gonna think, oh, that was hard, that was horrible, that lasted so long, that was boring, I didn't enjoy that. And you know, you're not gonna hold on very long if you're really overwhelming yourself with all those different things. Start small. I have a video that is called the Introduction to Video Editing or something like that. It shows you how to do the most basic things. My videos you're watching right now on an 80,000 subscriber, I will probably edit this video in less than an hour. I don't do crazy stuff. You don't need to do crazy stuff. You just need to understand the type of content that you're making and just make it happen. Just cut. Simple cuts, okay? I'm probably gonna cut the moments where I say or I'm probably gonna I'm definitely gonna cut some laughters and stuff like that, but this is all that I do. You don't need to be a genius at video editing for that. Okay, so mindset, your first video, don't over plan it, don't overthink it, don't over anything. Start by planning your first videos to be as easy as possible to make, because you're just starting. You don't have a workflow yet. Ooh, workflow, that's a word that's gonna come back later. Okay, tip number three tip number 3 is gonna be pick a niche or don't pick a niche. That's it. Thank you for watching. No, I'm just kidding. No, here are the two situations, okay? I want to tell you, hey, pick a niche. You know, just pick a niche. Do just one thing, this one type of video. Imagine yourself in that one category. Are you gonna be a tech channel? Or are you gonna be a tips, tricks channel, tutorial channel maybe? Or are you gonna be doing vlogs? Are you gonna be a reaction channel? Or are you gonna do a cooking? I want to tell you that, right? This would be the optimal advice for me to give you, but I also understand that you need to try out a bunch of things first, okay? Try anything that you feel like doing, that you're passionate, you get excited about, like making those videos. Try them first, okay? Try, and whatever works, you can stick to it. And maybe the thing that works is something you don't enjoy doing. Don't stick to it if you don't enjoy doing it. Try more things until you find something that you both enjoy. I hate my mic. And that also works well for your channel when it comes to views and audience, you know, reception. So picking a niche in the beginning might sound like a good idea, but if that niche doesn't work, you will essentially be wasting a lot of time trying to make it work. If you don't pick a niche, you might feel a little lost, like you shooting in the dark and stuff like that. But this is how it works. You throw darts at the board and you see what sticks. This very channel you're watching right now was a clips compilation channel at first, and I made this one tutorial for live streaming and it worked really well, so I stuck to it and boom, here we are today. Making clips compilation sounded like a good strategy, but it turns out it wasn't. But I didn't know any better, and that's how you are when you're starting. You don't know all the strategies that work and that don't work. Tip number 4, let's talk about gear. It's easy for me to sit down here and tell you, hey, gear doesn't matter, okay? I'm not gonna tell you that. Gear doesn't matter is not the best advice that I can give you. But what you need to understand is pick what you need and what you don't need. And this is where the actual tip is coming. The most essential thing for a video is gonna be your audio. If your audio is absolute garbage, it's pretty much impossible to watch your video. Whereas the opposite is completely fine. If your video quality is not great, you're filming maybe with an older phone. This is a Samsung Galaxy S4. I've had videos with this phone on my channel and stuff like that. And this is an S20. If you have any recent phones, it's good. It's perfect. It's good enough. But just make sure that your audio is good. So try filming your first few videos with the audio that you have. And if you really feel like it's hard to understand what you're saying, or it's not even pleasant to the ears, you definitely need to find a way to invest in audio. That means that I don't know if you're going to save up for money, how much time is going to be, but in your list of priorities, audio should be up top. And then the rest really has to be essential. I know it's easy to think, oh, if I film with a $10,000 camera, my content has to be great. I'm currently filming with an overpriced camera. This is an $800 camera, and you might be like, whoa, this is like cheap for a camera that like YouTubers use. Honestly, I can get a better quality, a better looking image for way cheaper. This is the Sony ZV-1. I only bought it because I thought I was gonna travel a lot in 2020 and I wanted to film vlogs and stuff like that. Wow. Anyways, so really take some time if you're making a list of gear to upgrade, to buy. Make sure you pick the essentials. Another thing that is being slept on a lot is lighting. Lighting is important. Lighting is pretty much what makes my whole channel really stand out. If I didn't have this lighting, it would have been bad. I should probably show you. This is the light setup in my apartment. This is my everyday lighting when I'm not filming, for example. If I just use that and I didn't invest in lighting, this is what my videos would look like. So just understand the priorities when it comes to gear. You definitely want to sound good. Don't overpay. Do your research in order to have decent audio at least. And then tip number 4 is actually going to be workflow, which is pretty interesting because workflow has to do with the software that you use, but it also has to do with the gear. You know, the gear is very much part of my workflow. That means that I have my gear set up in a way that it's the easiest for me to just sit down here and start creating content. My lights are voice controlled. Also, I have this remote for the colored light like this. And you might be thinking this is overkill, but the thing is, I start to have a lot of light sources, and just going around turning them on and off before and after shooting is an obstacle to me creating content. I want to be able to sit down and make the content. Nothing should be in my way, because the more things are on your way for you to sit down and start recording, the less motivated you're going to be. The more it's going to feel like a chore to even start. And starting is the hardest thing to do. Another example of, gear workflow is that my camera is actually connected to my computer. Instead of recording to a memory card, to an SD card that I have to then transfer the files and wait for them to transfer and then put them in my editing software. Or if I had like a different audio that I have to sync up and also, from an SD card and all of that, this is also obstacles for me to be creative. So I make sure that my gear is plugged to my computer. I'm recording with OBS Studio, so my audio is already in sync with my camera. It's already on my computer. If I click stop recording, I can immediately open my editing software and start editing that video on the spot. So I'm not wasting time, I'm gaining time, and it helps me stay focused and excited about, one video idea that I can just get it done and get it out of my head. Okay, software workflow. Now, this is the part that is kind of important, especially if you already picked a niche, then it's going to be easier for you to know, hey, you know what? My videos are going to be structured that way. I record here, I look at this camera, I look at this camera, and I optimize everything to go as fast as possible. In my editing software, I'm going to pick the buttons that I press the most frequently. I'm going to change the keyboard shortcuts so that I don't have to move my hand a lot of times in doing shift and all of that. I'm going to keep my 3 fingers on like for me, for example, I usually have the cut, and I usually have the select, and I also have the delete, 3 fingers. And this is pretty much all I do on all of my videos, which helps me edit super, super fast. Of course, you can get something like a Stream Deck. Hey, gear doesn't matter. You can get something like a Stream Deck where you have, 16? Is it 16? Where you have 15 buttons, and honestly, that's what I use to edit. And those 15 buttons mean that I never have to move my hand to even use my real keyboard, but everything that I need to edit a full video is at the tip of my finger. But again, obviously you can use your real keyboard. Just move a couple of shortcuts around and you'll have that. That's what I used to have before Elgato sent me a Stream Deck. Another cool way for software workflow is to legit look up workflow tips for your specific editing software. That's what I do. I use Adobe Premiere to edit. I looked up, hey, this is a cool new workflow tip, and someone shows you how they gained a bunch of time by having a specific shortcut or by using, a macro software in order to do things faster. And then the more you learn, and you apply that to your own workflow, and then you have something super strict that allows you to edit super fast. When people say, oh, the worst part, the part that I struggled the most with in my content creator journey is editing, I'm like, are you not learning how to improve? Like, you're supposed to, if you've been doing it for a while, you're supposed to be good at it at some point. You're supposed to be able to do it fast. But I also understand that some people just, the way that they edited the first day for the first YouTube videos, they still edit the same way. You're supposed to learn how to improve. And this is also something that I had to learn the hard way. I worked as a professional video editor, like for movies and documentaries and advertisement and all of that. I did not have a workflow, but that's because I had 3 months to work on one project, so I could take my time. Now that I'm, pretty much a YouTuber full time and I want to try to upload videos as fast as I can, I had to sit down and be like, okay, I cannot take a week working on one video where I just sit down and I talk. That's not possible. So how do I improve my workflow? And I did the research and I got used to, new shortcuts, new ways of editing and stuff like that. And now I can edit in 1 or 2 hours. I rarely go above 2 hours when I edit my videos. All right, tip number 6, we're getting a little serious here, okay? Tip number 6 is competitive research. This is the part where we're starting getting into strategy in order to make sure that everything works. Competitive research is finding out people that are doing similar content, similar size as your channel. And a good tip, something that I like to do, is find 5 of them. You find like 5 people that you would like to be in their position, or maybe they are like the top people in your specific niche. And this is what I like to do. I like to find out their most viewed videos. You go to their channel, you sort by most viewed, and you check out the top 5 most viewed videos for those 5 people. And you try to find similarities. You try to find anything that seems like a pattern, basically. But here's the thing. Here's the weird thing, because YouTube is unsure. You also need to do that for the worst videos they have. The videos that really did not perform really well. So the least amount of views, basically. Because that will help you learn about their failures pretty much, okay? That will give you a general idea of what the target audience for this specific niche really wants, what they really click on. One thing I also like to do is for the top 5 viewed videos is to screenshot the thumbnails, put them together in some sort of board and find patterns. Again, is there a face in the thumbnail? How big is the text? Are they just showing an object? Are they just showing the subject? Are they doing a crazy reaction? Is there a lot of colors? Is it mostly black and white? Or you know what I mean? Competitive research, basically, it's not you copying other people. It's not you trying to get an advantage. I mean, I guess, but it's you figuring out what has been established in this specific domain already. I need to stop hitting my mic. Tip number 7 is kind of weird. It's learning, because in between all those steps, you should be learning about specific things. After 1 week of posting on YouTube, for example, you need to realize, hey, you know what? I've been putting whatever in my tags. Maybe I should look up how to optimize my tags. Maybe I should look up how to do better thumbnails or a specific thumbnail effect in Photoshop or Photoshop alternatives, for example. Of course, we talked about workflow, learn the keyboard shortcuts to your editing software, and also learn, certain techniques. You're doing video and audio, learn about, cinematography, for example. Learn about lighting, learn about 3-point lighting, for example, how to light an interview, how to light a studio, how to light a TV set, because with that knowledge, you're going to be able to apply that to your own situation and really be versatile when it comes to your creativity and your setup. Don't type lighting for YouTubers. Don't type that. Audio and video existed way before YouTube. We have a lot to learn from well-established people such as movie makers, filmmakers. Tip number 8 has to do with once you already did all of that, you've been doing it for like a month, 2 months, 3 months maybe. And this is the part where you need to optimize. This is the next step. You're like, okay, I have this on lock. I have a list of things that I don't like about my videos that I need to improve that are other than, yourself. If you watch your own video and you're like, oh, I'm a little awkward, work on that, look at yourself in the mirror and try to have a conversation. If you feel like your eyes are shifting a lot, which I have that problem currently because I actually have a monitor here and I tend to look at myself in a monitor a little too often. So my eyes are shifting between the camera and the monitor. So that is something that I'm currently working on myself on. You can optimize the gear. If you feel like, hey, there's this one light in the background that I would like to replace the light bulb for a colored light bulb in RGB, maybe a smart light bulb. That is optimizing your workflow. Hey, I don't want to record external audio anymore. I would like to have it straight to my camera. Maybe you're going to buy a little mic like that plugs directly into the camera so that you already have good audio straight into your camera. And that works also if you're recording and editing from your phone. You can actually also optimize your niche. Basically look at your videos, your past videos, and really see, hey, what worked, what didn't work at all, what kind of feedback did I have from my videos and stuff like that. And you can maybe, in the future, I'm going to make less of that, less of this, less of that. For example, my channel, I do tech reviews on this channel, but I also give stream tips. The stream tips always go really well, but the tech reviews are a little, lackluster depending on the tech. I feel like tech that doesn't have to do with live streaming don't do really well on my channel. This is why I created a different channel for that. But I'm only doing this because I can right now. If you're starting off, you don't want to make multiple channels and upload to multiple channels. You would want to just cut down on, in my case, the tech reviews and do more of that thing that is working. That is you optimizing your viewership. Now, since we talked about learning in between everything, you can optimize your thumbnails. Okay, my thumbnails. This is a reevaluation of your whole channel to take it to the next step. You now know about better titles. You know what keywords work well. You know what tags to use. The way you advertise your channel, you should be more familiar with certain platforms and how to, advertise your own videos on those platforms. For example, Twitter tend to limit the reach of certain tweets that contain links. So what I would do is advertise with the thumbnail thumbnail or a partial video. Actually, a video, a little snippet of the video is the best thing. And then on another tweet, actually put the link to the video. That's another thing I had to learn the hard way. And the branding. At this point, if you want to start growing, you're going to have to start being memorable, visually memorable. So your branding, you know, pick a couple colors, a graphic style, and then run with it. Make sure you show your face as much as possible if you are that type of YouTuber. If you don't show your face, that's completely fine, but make sure you have a very recognizable branding. Don't pick more than 2 colors or 3 colors. Make sure that this graphic design and also color pick is visible everywhere. When I think of a graphic style and a color combination, I want to immediately think of you. Basically, that's the purpose of branding. It makes you memorable. It really puts you in people's memories. And then tip number 9 is a spicy one. I want you to cheat. wait, hold on. Okay, I'm kind of joking. Cheating in the sense of I want you to use tools to your advantage. First of all, you can use Chrome extensions that will actually help modify your YouTube in a way that is more helpful, that guides you a little bit more. I personally use vidIQ. I have no affiliation with them. I just installed it, and now I actually go with one of the premium versions. I actually pay $10 just for keyword research, for example. They tell you, hey, this keyword is hot, this keyword is low, those keywords have low competition, those keywords have high competition. They even have a score for them. So it kind of guides you to where you should be focusing more. You might have a great idea, but it's an idea that no one wants to watch. And having something like vidIQ or TubeBuddy is another one that you can download. Really helps you with that content. You know, it really assures that you're gonna make content that people want to see. And vidIQ is actually free. Well, I mean, there's a free version. TubeBuddy, I believe, is free. I don't use TubeBuddy, but I know they pretty much do the same thing. You can also search stuff on Google Trends. I used to do that when I first started, and it's not really good, but hey, you never know. Depending on your niche, you might find something there that helps your channel blow up, really. Another way to optimize is when you're doing your research, you can also look up, hey, what is the clickbait formula? Because everyone says clickbait. You know, the definition of clickbait on the internet seems to be deception, basically, something deceptive, a deceptive thumbnail and title, when the real definition of clickbait is just something that makes you want to click. So having something like mystery, a crazy reaction, and all of that is clickbait. That is not necessarily a negative thing. It's just optimizing your title and thumbnail in order to guarantee that click, in order to make people, you basically play with people's curiosity and make them click. Now, of course, if you name your video, hey, cute puppy does a backflip, and then the video has nothing to do with a cute puppy doing a backflip, then that is against YouTube rules, and I don't even consider that clickbait. I consider that like spam. You can also optimize your content structure, your audience retention. For example, I'm gonna use TikTok as an example. People have found that if you started TikTok like that, for example, people are scrolling by, they're gonna see me speaking, they're gonna most likely just scroll by. But if I start the video like that and I jump into frame and there's something dynamic happening, people tend to just sit, you grab their attention easier that way. You can do some research on that for YouTube, for example. What is the best content structure? How did I start this video? I told you something. I give you a promise. I did my little intro, and then I did the ad, and then I started giving you all the tips. A good way of figuring out how to improve your content structure is to go check your analytics. You're gonna have a graph of basically the audience retention. Basically, they're gonna tell you, hey, people tend to leave at this part of the video. If your intro is too long, there might be a lot of people clicking off the video during the intro. They're like, wow, this has been going for 30 seconds. That would mean, hey, shorten your intro or just don't put an intro. Something that I started doing is not putting an outro. I used to say, go out there, make me proud, get level out, and then putting the little videos that people can click on. Now I do it while I'm still in the video and I'm telling people, hey, this video is gonna take you to what YouTube thinks is best. The next one is gonna be my latest video. Check them out. So I'm still grabbing their attention, so they're still here and they're most likely to click on those instead of me saying bye and then those come up with some music in the background. That is me optimizing my YouTube videos. All right, this video is way longer than I expected. Tip number 10 is going to be preserve yourself, which might be a little ironic with the previous tip. Cheat, but preserve your dignity and your integrity and yourself. No, mostly yourself in general. One thing to start to understand after, when you start building a little viewership is to ask yourself, hey, what am I doing? What is my ultimate goal? And for example, my ultimate goal is to teach people that there are a lot of things that are super accessible on the internet when it comes to creating content that is more accessible than one might think, that you don't need $1 million. You don't need to be rich in order to be creative on the internet. And as easy as it is for me to be saying that with probably more than 10K worth of equipment, I started with a $200 laptop, and that $200 laptop allowed me to make content. And with that content, I managed to get like a $500-600 computer, and that $600 computer allowed me to make content. And with that content, I made enough money to buy a $1,000 computer. And now I have something like a 2.5K computer. So obviously the goal is not to keep making content with a $200 laptop. But if you are the person with the $200 laptop, this might be the future for you, basically. Do not let that laptop tear you down and make you think that, oh, it's because I have this that I don't have access to the rest. No, you need to be as creative as you can. You can still be as creative as possible in order to reach the next level. So that is my goal. My goal is to share the message that I want people to believe in themselves, even though everyone else is telling them not to. I want people to understand that creativity has no boundaries. You can accomplish amazing things even if you don't have the best tools. Not a lot of people are asking, what kind of brush did Da Vinci use? No one is really asking that. People are just contemplating the art. But for some reason, when it comes to creating content online, people are often asking, hey, what kind of headset are you using? Like, that has nothing to do with my creativity. Another thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna get negative comments, and it's normal. It's normal. No matter what you do, you can be making the best content ever. Even when from the get-go, you're still gonna get negative comments, and you need to understand the difference between constructive criticism and just negative comments. People are out there on the internet just to be mean to other people. So going in, you need to be mentally prepared for that. For no reason, people will focus on stuff. People like to tell me that I look like XXX celebrity. People like to make fun of my hair. Hey, you should cut your hair. Okay, thank you for the view, I guess. As if like random profiles on YouTube will control what I do. I don't care. I really don't. That is not constructive criticism. Now, if someone is like, hey, you take way too long to get to the point, you might be like, let me write that down. And if you post more videos and you get more comments like that, hey, dude, this could have been a 5-minute video. Hey, dude, you take too much time talking or finding out what to say. Now you're gonna write that down as, hey, I need to optimize my speech. I need to get to the point quicker. If you really feel like it, rewatch your video and make sure that this negative content can be turned into a positive optimization of your videos. That being said, there are negative comments. There are constructive criticism comments that are just not true. I have videos doing super well with 99% of people liking the video, and I'll have one comment that's like, this video is totally worthless. And then every other comment is like, oh my God, you just saved my life. Oh my God, I was looking for this. Wow, you helped me so much. Thank you. In that case, this video is worthless is not a comment you should take into account. Another thing that happens, and maybe that's more in the future, and maybe that shouldn't be in this video at all, is if everything works well and you grow your YouTube channel, you're going to be contacted by everyone. Everyone's going to want to collab. And notice how I didn't put collab. Collab is not a way to really grow your channel. If you're already big and you have something to offer, maybe. But if you're starting out, your value, it's going to sound negative. It's going to sound bad. But your value as a content creator is basically zero. So you collabing with someone else is basically you have everything to gain and they have nothing to gain from that collab with you. And they're always going to feel like you're trying to basically get more views and use them for that. So don't go asking people for collabs when you're just starting out. Anyways, there are shady companies that are going to contact you too. And if you have a strong opinion against certain things, learn how to say no, basically. Learn how to say no. People are going to DM you asking you to do this, asking you to do that. Learn how to say no. Learn how to straight up ignore some comments. I don't check out my Instagram DMs anymore because all of my DMs are always people asking me to do stuff that I don't do. I will put in my bio, I don't do commissions, I don't do coaching, and my DMs are filled with, hey, how much would it take for you to do a commission? How much for coaching? I don't do those things. I'm not saying don't be useful to your community. You can start a Discord channel where you can give resources or you can talk to people from time to time, but don't do it to your detriment, basically. Put yourself first because everyone is going to want something from you and they don't care what impact that has to do on you. If I said yes to every DM I get, I would literally be homeless. Straight up. So yeah, tip number 10 is say no. Don't be a yes man. All right, I did not expect this video to be so long, but you know, I blah blah a little too long, and this is what happens. If you're a live streamer and you're looking for some dope overlays to make your Twitch channel look good, you can go to gumroad.com/guidelevel. I have a bunch of free overlays. And if you want to learn more about, you know, YouTube video editing, I have a couple of videos about video editing on the channel, so go check them out. And remember that thing I told you about in the beginning? Hey, YouTube's gonna tell you what what video you should watch next, and at the bottom they will show you my latest video. Get yourself some Streamer Brain merch, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. Go out there, make me proud. Guide Level out.